Eileo guys, and welcome back. So for the 30-second character analysis video, we have Aaren, which at this point in time pretty much completes the character analysis videos, but don't worry, there is more on the way. But Aaren here, she is a supporter, obviously a defense support, and let's take a look at what her stats scaled off of. So 30% from her attack, 35% from her physical, and then magical defense. So in my opinion, I wouldn't worry too much about attack, but make sure her physical and magical defense is up as high as you can get it, just to add in some additional DPS from her. But don't expect her to like carry the entire squad with her DPS alone. But let's take a look at her costumes real quick. That one's actually pretty cool. She looks grown up. Yeah, she looks like almost like a small Claire. And the other ones are super duper small, and she has very skimpy clothes on, and she's very thick to be that small. But this one looks more slightly less, slightly less small. I don't know, but let's take a look at her equipment though. For her exclusive weapon, Oberon, it comes with a fairy blessing, and it also boosts her magic attack. It boosts her defense skill damage, her extra skill damage, evasion by a high percent, and then critical resist. And then her fairy blessing, self or ally HP falls to a certain amount, 70%. All attack gets increased by 20% for 8 seconds with a 40-second cooldown. So essentially 32 seconds, depending on if someone's getting, the business put on them. So this could be potentially good. But if no one's getting the business put on them, then it's not really activating, so that kind of sucks. But when it does, 20% for everyone, if they're in her vicinity, is pretty snazzy. Then her recommended equipment is Salvation Dragonite or Flash of Light. Let's take a look at Flash of Light over here. Flash of Light boosts all defense and all attack, which is what both of her stats scaled off of. So that's great. I mean, that's definitely the one that you would want to get. Obviously more easier said than done because it's tier 6. And then the other one would be Salvation Dragonite, which I'm assuming is going to follow suit to that. Pretty similar to it if it would load up for me. Yep, this one just boosts magical defense and physical defense. Not so much attack, but I mean, you can't get everything in this world. You just can't get everything. And then let's take a look at her skills. So for her ultimate, Cheering Dance, which has a 24-second cooldown, dance around enhancing surrounding allies' abilities. It lasts for 4 seconds with 1-second intervals. So essentially it pulses out 4 waves, and it does HP recovery by 4.8% at this level 5 times, and then all defense for everyone goes up by 13.2% for 2 seconds. Obviously once you level the skill up more, it's going to do more. This seems kind of odd though, so I guess in theory if it's pulsing out every 1 second and this happens, I'm not even sure how to explain that. The defense is going to overlap, but the defense should last 2 seconds more than the pulses. So at the 4-second mark, if you're still in that AoE, it should last for 2 more seconds after that. So that's something to keep in mind. Then her second move, Light Curtain, with a 12-second cooldown, casts a max HP base barrier around the target. This barrier inflicts damage on surrounding enemies when it disappears. Obviously the barrier goes up once we level it up more, which I can't at the moment, but the barrier lasts for 5 seconds and mine is almost 30%. And then once it goes away after those 5 seconds, it also damages the enemies. So some damage, obviously not much, but this acts like a barrier like many other moves that we've learned from the character analysis videos, which could be helpful especially for a tank. So do keep that in mind as well. Then her last skill, Fairy Gift, with a 9-second cooldown, uses a special magic of fairies, enhancing the abilities of allies within range. It boosts everyone's attack by 26% at the moment for 8 seconds, and then it boosts everyone's attack speed by 50%. Now, this is huge. This is huge. So both physical and magical base DPS, base tanks, base everything in the game gets a hefty boost to their attack, and then, I mean, the real moneymaker here is attack speed. So no matter who's in your squad, they're getting a 50% attack speed increase. That's pretty insane. Like, Aaren is like confirmed for one of the best ones in the game. Her first passive boosts her physical attack. The second one boosts magical attack. So again, this is for self and allies. So she's buffing everyone. She's helping everyone out. And then her last one is accuracy. The passives are a tad bit lackluster in my opinion, but they're not super duper bad. And her ult does have HP recovery on that as well. I don't believe Eileo has HP recovery on any of her moves. She might have it on a trait, but Aaren does have a active heal when you need it, just in case one of your other supporters can't keep up. So that's something to keep in mind. Her first trait, the energy of spirits, is with us. It has a 30-second cooldown. Of HP of self or ally falls to a certain amount, which is 50%. The hero with the lowest HP gets a HP recovery of 10%. This one isn't that great. 30-second cooldown, and if someone gets, you know, knocked down at 50% of their HP, so if they get knocked down to half of their HP, they can recover 10%. I don't really see how this is going to do you any good, because 50% is very, very low, and chances are they might end up dying within those next couple of seconds. So 10% isn't going to do anything. Like, it should at least be 20% minimum. And then her second trait is Let Me Give You the Fairy King's Blessing. This one has a 15-second cooldown, and it accumulates fury by self or ally if attacked by 4 points. So this is going to take forever. I would assume, I don't know, maybe anywhere from 6 to 12 seconds in order to get this off, depending on the range of it. But it creates a barrier for 10% of the target's HP for 5 seconds, and with a 15-second cooldown. So every 10 seconds if you're like in the cut and you're going in. So this could potentially be very useful, but again, not too useful, because 10% really isn't going to save you. I mean, it's going to save someone in need, but in a high burst situation, that 10% barrier ain't going to do nothing for you. It's just not. But let's take a look at her skills. So she just does her little wand thingy, which has an okay range on it. And then let's take a look at her ult. And she does move around, and we saw the 4 pulses on it. And then everything got buffed up. And this one's here, the barrier. I do believe if you have someone else on your team that you can choose to do the barrier on them. Like, I know when I was playing with my Wool Young that I could, you know, actually not I, but the AI would put a barrier on her instead of Aaren. So do remember that. This is the one that adds, what was it? It adds a barrier to whoever. So if you're ever controlling her and you know your tank is about to get hit hardcore, do keep that in mind, that you could definitely use that. And then this is just her other skill with the flowers. When you're in it, it does the attack speed buff, and then it also does the attack buff. So make sure you're in it when you do it, or when you see her cast it. Try and run in there, and that's pretty much Aaren. I mean, there's nothing like super groundbreaking about it, because her job is to obviously attack. But that's pretty much Aaren. Once again, great for just boosting everyone's DPS. Very, very useful, especially in World Boss, in my opinion. And if you haven't built an Aaren yet, I would definitely hope you could consider that. But that pretty much ends the character analysis videos for now, you guys. Once again, there are more videos on the way, so stay tuned. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know, or check the link in the Discord and ask the other guys there some questions if I can't answer it. But as always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace out.